Hi guys, how you going? A couple of things to talk about. Below 18 degrees, we don't get much growth on lawns, which means that sometimes there's some pressure on cycle times or regularity at the moment. Be mindful, of course, of anyone moving outside of a regular cycle every 4 weeks to a fifth week person, because their prices do need to go up, not only because of, there's probably more growth on the lawn, etc., but they're no longer irregular. That does mean something. There's regular pricing and there's non-regular pricing. And that's valid as well, because if you ever went to sell your business, a non-regular is not worth anything to you. So they're not worth as much to you. So it's actually fact, right? So you think about that if they move outside the 4 weeks, to the fifth week or whatever, and that takes them outside the regular cycle. I'll let you guys manage that side of things. But obviously with that happening as well, we now move to a time of the year where those cycles are getting longer, right? But the leads aren't necessarily in FMS4 because the general public's not calling as much. It's at a low point in the season, right? So we can't then go, okay, let's just turn the switch on work requirements and get more leads in, because there's just not going to be that many there. And lots of guys take work at this time, so therefore more people to take work as well, less leads coming in as well. So what do we have to rely on? We have to rely on additional services. So the difference between guys at the moment, and unless you started recently, that does make a difference, of course. The guys that are very busy at the moment are the guys that are pumping additional services. So additional services is you driven. It's not customer driven. It's you driven. So it means if you're not getting enough additional services, you got to change something. Your fault. You got to change something. So they are you driven, okay, in this process. Now, the way to do that is to have a list of customers that you've identified additional services that require to be done on their property. Doesn't mean you have to go running out and do those additional services right now, or have them confirmed by the customer even yet, right? So you've identified them. Just make sure you say that, you haven't, the ones that are confirmed by the customer, yes, they want it done, and the ones that you've just identified, but it may be yet to communicate to the customer. But that whiteboard has like 20 customers or 20 services for 20 different customers or whatever it is on it. Some of them need to be confirmed and some of them don't be, but you've priced it up as well. Now you can go down the list and go, what's the gap I've got in this week? I can probably fit Mrs. Jones in because she's a $2,000 cleanup or whatever it is, right? Out the back of a shed or whatever it is. So additional services whiteboard, run a whiteboard of confirmed and non-confirmed additional services. That is the biggest skill silo of work. But the biggest skill it's an ultimate KPI at the moment is your additional service list. How long is it? The guys that just go through this area and make more money. When I say to them, how much money do you make? I make most money in the off season because I'm doing more additional services. They run their additional services properly, and they make more money now than they do in spring when they're running around crazy, right? The further you can schedule in advance, obviously, to see gaps, guys that are running the additional service whiteboard, that's what I mean. That's why it's the best. But otherwise, if you've got scheduling abilities out into at least the following week, 2 weeks in advance, 4 weeks in advance, it allows you to see the gaps and then fill them. Get hungry, go, shit, I've got to find it to fill that gap at the end of next week. So finding those gaps is extremely important. The other thing to say about additional services, most important KPI, and you got to do it in advance, right? So it's now for next year, is the list of people that you got this year for gutter cleaning, pruning, broadleaf spray, glyphosate spray, pruning, whatever, right? So whatever additional service groups, the main 4 or 5 that are due at this time of the year, make sure you have a half page at the back of your diary with gutter cleaning, and you write all the gutter cleaning people there, right? So next year you just work through that list. There's your whiteboard, right? Or then you've got, that's half your whiteboard done right there. The people that need pruning, the people that need gutter cleaning, and the people that need hedging, the people that need fertilizing, the people that need glyphosate and other herbicides. So there's 5 categories I just listed just there, right? That would fill up your whiteboard for this time of the year if you had it from last year. You wouldn't have to do anything. Then, of course, you've got like cleanups, one-offs, landscapings, things that are in the future, that you can put on that list as well, which is what I was really talking about to start with. So super important that you feel the pain this year if you are from not enough additional services, and make next year better at least. But documentation, that's where documentation is so important. Those guys that can just go back at their diary and go, I'm working my way through the pruning list at this exact week of this, week 50, week 28 of the year, Shane, I start my pruning cycle of 20 customers. that's organised. Good on you guys. Hopefully that helps. Yeah, nothing more important at this time of the year. You are driving additional services. You drive them through documentation, both on the front end of guessing what they need, and then having a confirmed and non-confirmed list, and then also through the groups of additional services that need to be done at this time of the year from last year. Cool. Catch ya. Bye.